Hey everyone, this is Chris Kies for Premier Guitar. I'm hanging out with the Revivalists today, starting off with Zach. Zach, how you doing?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. We're here at the Mercy Lounge in Nashville. We're here with a very beautiful Guild guitar. Why don't you tell us about this one?
This is a 1974 Guild Starfire IV. I got it for my 17th birthday off eBay, and I've been loving it ever since.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just a great guitar.
What made you go after this one, maybe than like say opposed to like a 335 or something like that?
I mean, I was attracted to like the semi hollow body thing, like the 335, and I feel like you get a lot of bang out of your buck with the Guild name, just because it's not Gibson, you know, it's not quite as expensive, but the quality is probably in the same ballpark. Yeah.
And you do anything to it since you've had it, or pickups, anything?
Pickups are all original. Okay. It's pretty much all the same. I switched out the bridge very recently because I was having some intonation issues, but even that bridge was not original. So.
Gotcha. No foul.
What's that?
No foul with that one by replacing the bridge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And how do you feel about where it fits with your guys' music?
It's my guitar, you know. So however I feel about how, no, it's I mean, obviously I can make it rock. It's not hard, you know. Fucking put on. It's just, and I mean, I can get the sort of mellow, jazzy tones pretty easy, like. And yeah, I mean.
Well, I was just gonna say the reason I was gonna ask is just because I've seen you in videos and stuff, seen you guys play live, that you have played Telecasters before. I know David does, you know, but that's why I asked why.
I also have a Tele that I really like, and I've played that for years. We don't have a whole lot of room on stage a lot of the time, as you can see, and in our trailer and stuff, we're rolling in a van, so I'm taking 2 electrics out with me.
Gotcha.
I even downsized the pedal board recently because we've been doing a lot of fly dates.
Okay.
I like the Tele a lot, but I kind of like this versus the Tele. This is like this is beefier.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of been leaning towards that more.
Gotcha.
This guitar more, and since I got the Starla as well, I've been using that. Yeah.
And what about for strings you're using?
DR. I've used a lot of DR strings.
Okay.
I like that a lot.
Any particular gauge that you prefer
11s.
Right now? Okay.
11s. Yeah, I'm not super picky. I like whatever, you know, Diodario as well. Yeah.
Cool. And well, we'll hit the amp real quick before we dive into your pedal board.
Cool.
Got the Vibro-King. What made you land with this one?
I actually saw Gary Clark doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I really enjoyed his playing, and I'd been playing some Super Reverbs, and I like it. It's super reliable too. I have a PRS amp set up that I like a lot as well. But this has been really reliable. I got this about 2 years ago, and I've never had any problems with it.
310 or
it's 310. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like, I think it's 60 watts 310, which is nice.
What do you notice? You know, traditionally with a combo, it's either 112 or 212 or even a 210. But what do you hear or feel while you're playing that's different in a 310 setup, or particular maybe to this actual combo itself?
It's comparable, I would say, to the Super Reverb 4 setup. In some ways, it's like, you know, it's the 10s, so you got that sort of like maybe like a brittleness to the breakup sometimes, you know, but it's not the stock Jensen speakers in there, so they kind of break up earlier, I've found, like when I'm using a backline Vibro-King. But it's weird, like sometimes I like the earlier breakup, and it's like overall more distorted sound. And sometimes I'm like, you know, I want that to be cleaner, but it's nice to have the distorted sound too, because it's like overall more compression, so you can kind of, I don't know, it can be easier to get your levels right with it, between, if you know what I mean, between all the effects.
And do you use on board with the trem?
I actually don't.
Or the vibrato,
I don't use it. I don't use the tremolo out of the amp. It's not like disconnected, but I use that on the pedal board.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And should we take a look at your Starla real quick?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, Zach was kind enough to strap on the Starla for us as we go through his pedal board here. Tell us real quickly about the Starla, how you came to own this one.
This is really cool. I've been talking with the guys at PRS. They were kind enough to give me this, and it's gotten a lot of use on the road. I think I got this also about 2 years ago.
Okay.
It's just a beautiful guitar. It's Starla S2 series. Relatively new to their lineup.
Yeah, it just got added last year.
Yeah, it's just super cool guitar. It's my first Bigsby guitar.
How do you feel about that?
It's cool. It's a fun toy. Yeah, it kind of like having it there makes you want to do it all the time.
Yeah, right.
But a lot of the time I'll just
Get it out of the
get
way.
it out of there. Yeah.
How do you feel? Obviously, this is a solid body compared to the Guild, but
Yeah.
what do you hear tonally different beyond that?
This is a brighter guitar.
Okay.
I think like that. I tend to keep it a lot on this
Okay.
this pickup. Yeah. 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 I use it a lot for this one tune. It was a Sin, and I use
All right,
it
yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
with my Strymon Flint reverb. I have a super long decay setting and the SP compressor there. So it's kind of. Yeah, I really like how that
Yeah.
sort of long.
And that's on the new album that you guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so talk to us about the rest of your pedal board. You got
Cool.
the Strymon Flint. What are you using that for? Is that mainly for
Ma-
reverb, or you actually use
Yeah.
tremolo too on that side?
I use tremolo sometimes, mainly reverb. Yeah, like I said, I have that long setting I like for it.
Yeah.
Because I always have a little bit of reverb out of the amp,
Okay.
but you know, it always won't be so overt. I like the long decay, and then I'll kind of dial it back. And then yeah, just the tremolo sounds good too. I use the tremolo pretty subtly. So,
Yeah. What song
yeah.
do you use that on, or songs that where you kick
That's
that
on
for?
Fireflies. I'll have it for that quick rock out thing
Yeah.
at the
Oh, well, I was
end.
going to ask about that.
Yeah.
That and yeah, because at the end of the song it gets real gnarly.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about
Yeah.
what pedals you're kicking on to get that chaos.
A lot of that is Ed doing the soloing with the wah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll either have my Sparkle Drive going or this, just kind of yeah.
What do you use the difference between the Zen Drive and the Sparkle Drive? Like, what do you have those two
Lately,
set up for?
lately the Sparkle Drive has been more of like less of a solo-y sort of
Okay.
level. So it's been quieter, just kind of choruses and stuff like just a little bit of a dirty boost, you know, with some like a long delay. I like that.
Some volume swells there.
Yeah. And this one is more of like my like solo boost.
Okay.
Or just like dirty, like
It's thick. It's thick. It sounds real thick.
yeah.
Robust.
Yep.
And what are you kicking the compressor on? Is that something you maybe leave on all the time, or is that?
I don't leave the compressor all the time. That's kind of like a clean boost and a sustain thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I do use it a lot with that reverb on like tapping stuff.
Oh, okay. And you just pair those together just so the notes sustain a little longer
Yeah.
and you can hear them different. Yeah.
Yep.
And you got the timeline, which I mean, that thing's pretty much derived from NASA. I think
It's really not that complicated.
but it can do a lot.
It can do a ton. It's really one of my favorite pedals. I use it a lot. So you got different bank, like they basically have these different delay machines on there. You got like tape, digital, analog, reverse, and you can just kind of come up with a setting. Like these are all different, you know, time repeats, like filters, which is just kind of subtle, grit, and you know, you get your setting right, and then you save it, and then you got your A and your B in each bank, and you name it, and then you can bank up. So like for this tune, like it's our drummer plays to a click a lot, and like it needs to be, it's the repeats kind of make it like it needs, it's a rhythmic delay.
Yeah.
So it has to be like that. You know. is similar. Like that kind of thing. Yeah, I have a couple different presets.
Is that like a preset you would use, or I don't know if Ed plays that, is for the intro to Criminal?
Criminal, yeah, he has a preset on, Ed plays that on, he's gonna get one of these.
It's funny, it reminds me, even though that's like two different types of music, it reminds me really of the new Primus, or the most recent Primus album that has Jilly's on Smack. It has like a really tight, almost like a stereo effect of the delay.
Cool. I've been loving this reverb. We don't have this reverse thing on any songs yet, but I've been
You gotta
really
find a
digging
spot
it.
to move
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It's just, I really like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm inspired by it. It's a fucking cool pedal. Sorry, cursing on the internet is not allowed.
And what about the full tone Clyde wall you got there?
Oh yeah, it's a really good sounding wah.
Yeah, I mean it's got what's the on-off switch there?
That's for a buffer, which
Okay.
is something that I don't really understand, but I think it has something to do with fuzz, because I have a fuzz pedal I really like. It's not on, this is like my flyboard.
Okay.
But if you have, there's something about like fuzz, if you put a wah in with fuzz, sometimes it just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And if you flip the buffer on or off, I forget which, I think on, you can hear it.
Get through it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, well, looks like everything's been covered, Zach.
Sweet,
Appreciate you
man.
taking the time.
Thanks, Chris.
We'll move
Appreciate
through
it.
the band.
Yeah, cool.
All right, we're here with Ed now. Ed's obviously steel player. Ed, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. I won't shake your hand because you got the picks on. I don't
I'll
want to
scratch you up.
I don't want to put those flying all over the place. So talk to us about your beauty here.
It's a Fessenden. This is one that I really like. It's a 5-foot pedal and 5 knee lever double pickup that Jerry made. It's great for like different tones if you want to do the different like classic country stuff.
Yeah.
But you can also get like a really full like. So I usually try and keep them blended. You know, it gives you kind of best of both worlds. That's what I do.
And what finger picks are you actually using?
These are Dunlops. I've tried some other ones. These are just pretty standard. I can kind of find them everywhere.
Gotcha.
So it's important to kind of have consistency.
Yeah.
So these ones are the easiest ones to find. So
All right, and behind you, before we forget, is the Lone Star.
yeah, that's my Mesa. That's my workhorse right there.
How'd you land on that one?
I tried out a lot of different amps, and this one's great because it's super. You have a ton of headroom for the steel, like. So you can get like really clean stuff, but you can also like pop on the. So I think it's kind of best of both worlds in that situation. It's also 100 watts, which is good for the steel, so it doesn't break up too early. Because if you really want it to be sweet, you know, it's got to really ring through without too much distortion.
Yeah. And on top of it, you have your secret weapon, just since it's not down in the fold, it's TC Electronic Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that one I kind of just keep on all the time just to give it a little sweetness. Certain songs I'll crank it up if I'm really trying to get that reverby sound, but mostly I just keep it on the same setting.
Gotcha.
It just gives it a nice. I really like that one though. On the plate setting, it works really well. Yeah, that's my.
Why
favorite.
do you not use the onboard on the
I
Lone Star?
do. There's actually this thing we call the Mesa farts. It's the reverb chamber when we're really rocking on a stage, like especially a festival stage. Sometimes the reverb tank will, and it's like a thunderclap.
Yeah.
So I used to use it, and now I use that, and I turn the reverb down. If we're on like a steady stage, I still will use it
Gotcha.
because I do like the reverb of it.
Yeah.
But to prevent those thunderclaps, I kind of have the pedal going.
All right. Well, what's down at your feet here? What do we got going on?
I got a box of rock, which I like a lot, which gives like a.
What kind of songs are you using that for? Is that?
That's mostly like the rockier stuff where I'm playing like a lot of power chords, like. That type of stuff, rather than the sweetness, you know,
Gotcha.
like that's one thing that's different about a normal steel is it's like the sacred steel power chord on the bottom, so you can really sound super growly.
Yeah.
And then I have the Mesa foot switch for the channel changing
Gotcha.
back there. I've got the Dunlop volume pedal. which I like. This is the new one. I actually got this from Farmer, from Government Mules Tech, a couple years back, and it's pretty reliable. I was snapping a lot of, you know, the rope ones, and I tried the light ones, but the lights will mess with it sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So this one, I've had this one for now 2 years, and I have yet to snap it. It works kind of on a crank rather than a string.
Okay.
The string ones I break all the time.
So you know what's going to happen tonight, you're going to break that.
You know, let's hope not.
Because you mentioned it.
Yeah, let's hope not. I've done that before with things. I'm like, oh man,
Dang,
I shouldn't
have said that.
And then I use the Crybaby. I like the Dimebag Darrell one because it has like a lot of, it's like a 535Q. So you got a lot of like variable there. You can kind of define your tone. And it also has the skateboard tape, so if you spill something, you can still get a grip.
Yeah.
But I had that one for years, and it actually broke, so I've been using this one right now. But that kind of gives it like the, I don't really use it for like a, not really like a, I do that sometimes, but mostly it's kind of to like phrase.
Okay.
So it's like more like a phrasing to make it sound vocally, you know? So it gives it that like vocal quality, which is one of my favorite things that you can do on the steel.
Yeah.
Then I got this TC Electronics, which I use. It's a delay. That's the Nova delay. I use that kind of for like rhythmic.
Gotcha. And that's
Stuff
the
like
intro
that.
to like that's like the intro
that's
to Criminal. Yeah.
And it's good. It's got a good rhythmic delay to it. I really like the timeline too. Thinking about getting one of those, the one that Zack has, since he got that. But I also use this for like waterfalls.
Yeah.
So it's like just like weird things you can do, like, you know. And I'll use it for that too. But mostly the rhythm delay stuff, and also if you're trying to get it to, you know, be like super sweet and like a moody song where you're like. You can do that, and then. And that's like, you know, if you're trying to do something like a little creepy, evil.
Like Halloween style.
Yeah, you know.
And I was asking Zach, because I figured it would have been him making the noise, but like towards the end of the songs, like Move On and Catching Fireflies, like you guys kind of get real intense and heavy. And he was saying that you actually conduct some of that.
Yeah, I do most of the Fireflies at the end is, that's me doing all the wah soloing stuff. And Dave and I wrote that a little while ago with kind of that in mind to kind of go full, you know, crazy.
Are you using the Box of Rock at all? Or is that just
I do use the Box of Rock for that, and I'm switch and maybe use, you know, the overdrive just on the amp, depending on the room, really. But you know, things like that, and yeah, I'll use the Box of Rock for it, depending on the room, which one has like kind of less buzz.
Gotcha.
Depending, it's weird. They react differently. Very odd. But then in Move On, that one I actually use the delay and kind of do it, you know, drowny notes and stuff like that. But I thought those both turned out really well, and I'll give it up to our producer for that one.
Well, thank you very much, Ed. I think we covered your rig.
All right, man.
Sounds fantastic. Thank you, Ed.
Thanks.
All right, everyone. We're here with George, the bass player of Revivalists. How you doing, George?
Doing well. It's good to be here in Nashville again.
Absolutely.
Excited.
Welcome here to the Mercy Lounge. Talk to me about your bass, sir.
This here is a Warwick Corvette Standard, and actually their custom shop just moved here in Nashville. You guys should go check it out. Say hello to John and Andy over there. I've had it for like probably about a decade or so. It took a nasty spill in Louisville a couple years ago, so I got a completely new neck, but it's Babinga with oven coal and a Wenge fingerboard. Love the stuff they do over there. And the other bass I'm using right now, I'll do this first, is, I should plug and play with this one first. This is a D'Angelico EX bass out of New York. And semi-hollow.
Got a headstock's got the Art Deco look to it.
Yeah, they're doing really cool stuff. I put flats on this one, so it's completely different tone, but it's passive. But there's certain kinds of songs. I'm still working this into the repertoire, trying to find certain place. But
what songs are you pulling it off on?
Right now, I'm trying to do more kind of like R&B-ish stuff, where like Move On.
Yeah.
Or we're doing a lot of acoustic sessions now and stuff like that, and obviously I'm not gonna be able to bring out a big rig.
Yeah.
So stuff where we're doing that, I'm more focused on just kind of my thumb than finger playing. But it's a work in progress, right?
Yeah.
But it's beautiful, and the guys at D'Angelico gave it to me, so I want to say thank you to Ryan, everybody there, and it's making its way into every set at some point.
Cool.
So.
And behind you got the Tower of Power is the Eden.
Yeah, there's something about having a Warwick and an Eden World Tour that's just like a match made in heaven. Real simple. I used to have some more rack stuff, but just a power conditioner with that and just an A10.
Gotcha.
I put some nice modded wheels on. Maybe we'll get a picture of that later. But yeah, just SVT A10 with the World Tour. So
cool. And take us through your pedal board.
Real simple stuff here, minus the I got the pedal train going through the radial bass bone, which is what I use for the DI and the preamp. Which is super cool because it has the dual switches, and like I'm playing my passive flat bass here. I have my other channel, not meant for this though, but this, I'll play the Warwick out of this.
Yeah.
The Warwick comes out of that, and it's super simple. I was kind of plug in and play guy, but as soon as we went on in-ears, IEMs, I realized I need to switch some stuff up. So I have that, and then I have the MXR, which is their actual name is just bass compressor. And another MXR Octaver. So I'll plug in the Warwick and show some stuff I do with that. But super simple, all related to the ears and working it off there.
Gotcha.
So.
And while you're switching basses, is it something that with the bass compressor you're using the whole time, or is that just
always on? Yeah, my tack is kind of all over the place. And our front of house said it was time to kind of step up and get some different stuff. So yeah, it's always on. It never moves. And with the Octaver, I don't use it all the time, but there's only certain times where I kind of want to cut through, or where I don't know, just add a little presence to it. Because being 6 other people in the band, it's tough to cut through. But I'm not using it on any particular songs or in the studio. It's just like live nuances, I guess you'd say.
All right, I should have done this before. I'm a bad interviewer. Tell me about your strings.
They're DR high beams. They're tapered. If you notice, like the Warwick has a special kind of bridge, so you need it kind of just lock in right there. I've been playing DRs for probably since I started playing bass, and Anthony everywhere there's been fortunate enough to give us all DR strings, and it's been a great deal. We use them all the time. I think pretty much every instrument on here that has strings is DR.
Have you noticed anything different about having the tapered ends in terms of longevity, tone, or anything like that?
I think it makes it last a little bit longer, personally, for me. But I've also, like, these strings I've had on for probably about like 4 months, and I have a bass at home that's had the same tapered DR that's not a Warwick, that's like a P bass that's been on for like a 1.5 years, and I just dig how it sounds when it's super dead for those strings. So yeah, it's personal preference. I've boiled them before, I've tried a ton of different stuff. Yeah.
Dang.
So, not these particular ones, but
I've heard of bowling jeans, but never heard of bowling strings.
Try it out. Bass players should try it out there.
Well, George, thank you very much for walking us through the rig.
Absolutely.
Another rig rundown, this time with the Revivalists at the Mercy Lounge in Nashville. This is Chris Kies for Premier Guitar. See you guys later.
Don't forget to sign up for PG Perks, your all-access pass to exclusive gear giveaways and discounts on PremierGuitar.com.